In terms of injuries, there were injuries before the game. Can you just go through your long list of injuries? Were there any more injuries from the weekend?
Well, I had to bring Rob Duffy off. That was a hamstring. So he could be a danger at the weekend. We'll see. He's got a few days to recover now. There's just Nixie, obviously Silky. We'll see. They're doing okay. They're doing okay. Whether they'll be available at the weekend remains to be seen. So it'll be really up to the end. Luke Jones is still about recovering. I think his legs are just about finding them. He had 10 weeks without a game, and that's quite tough to have. And so he's worked. He's very, very hard. We've worked him hard in the training ground. But yeah, there's nothing like getting minutes on the pitch to get your match sharpness, is there?
I was going to say, what sort of reaction did Luke Jones have? Because there can be the physical reaction in terms of his ankle, but also mentally, he must have been absolutely shattered at the end.
Well, he was shocked a bit. When you're playing up against a Constable and a Midson, and they're very good players, and he was matching them, and it was no surprise to me that at the last 20 minutes they started to tire, and on a sweltering hot day as well. Everything went. Listen, they put in a good shift, and there's no complaints. We were beaten on the day, and by a good side, but likewise. I'll give credit to my players for the way they went about their jobs.
If you're talking about those injury outs, okay, we're early in the week here, so there's a chance for those players to recover, but you were already down to your bare bones on Saturday last weekend, so in terms of this weekend, younger players maybe coming into your squad this weekend, maybe even if only on the bench? Yeah,
that might be the case, we'll see. If it has to be done, then no problem. It'll be a wonderful outing for a young player, but I've got the availability of Luke Foster this weekend, so we should be okay, but otherwise if we have to do that, then I've got no complaints, no worries.
3 younger players have re-signed for this football club. Very pleased with those signings, aren't you, David? Speaking off the record to us, you were very pleased with the fact that they put pen to paper and guaranteed almost a long-term future of this football club.
Well, the club will look at the young players, and we need to progress. So you need to build, of course you do, and these young boys have gone out on loan this year. With the exception of Collett's come in and did very, very well for us on the training ground, and being a second in command, if you like, to Alan Marriott. We recognise Alan's a tremendous goalkeeper, but Neil's come in and shown the maturity that I was looking for in a young man. And the other 2 boys, Ben and Tom, they're good prospects for this football club, and that's why I'm delighted that we've been able to secure them for the sort of near future. And there'll be prospects that hopefully can fulfil their ambition of pulling on a stag shirt.
You've talked there about securing the footballing future of the football club, looking at younger players, but in terms of the club, we're staying in the Blue Square Premier another season here. There are going to be financial implications, not only for your side, but for the younger sides at your club. The football and the community structure is having to take a financial hit next season. It's always difficult though, isn't it, to balance the books in at the Blue Square side?
Yes, and that's certainly, I've been, long discussions with the chairman, and I think at the moment, I think that my comment must remain private on those issues, and at the right time, I'm sure the club will announce any changes that, if they are to be made, they'll do them in due course.
Andy Perry said there's going to be a squad reduction. There are a number of players out of contract at the end of this season. Have you sat down with groups of players yet to discuss whether they'll be re-signing here next season?
Well, as a manager, I've got to do, when a player knocks on the door, my door is always open to my players. And certainly the players that are out of contract have come to me and asked me certain situations. They'll remain private, and they will do until the given time that I can announce the changes if necessary. Are we nearing the point where you'll be able to announce any re-signings to this club? Not at the moment. I say that's really down to timing, and I say the information that you're after, I'll give out in due course. In terms of your future, David, at this football club, I've been reading this week, people have made comparisons with yourself to another young manager who manages at Derby County, Nigel Clough. He spent, shall we say, his apprenticeship as a manager in the Blue Square Premier with Burton, took them into the Football League. If I could ask you if you'd like to mirror Nigel's achievements and take Mansfield Town to the Blue Square Premier, and then yourself look further up the leagues. That's news to me about being compared to Nigel, but Nigel's gone on to managing the Championship, is certainly where I want to manage. It did take them a long time, and I imagine over them times, it's like Graham Wesley, it's taken Stevenage a rather a long time to get in there, and we must congratulate everybody concerned with Stevenage on their promotion. It does take time, and I think that you're only given that. You need a strong chairman. You need obviously fans to be patient, and those are realistic attributes that you must have. And I watch. I'm a big I like understanding football at the highest level and certainly at the lower levels. But you do need strong people around you, and I've managed to have a tremendous relationship with Mr. Perry, and certainly we understand where we're trying to build, and I'm hoping given that time.
Stevenage are perhaps the case in point, though, aren't they, David? They were promoted, I think it was in 1996, but I've had to wait until this point to actually get back to that level. So it is a building process, and success in this league does not come overnight.
Certainly, and I'm glad you're saying that, because it's a realistic view. We all want to be there, and I had great success up in Scotland with the chairman there and the people around us up there, and we were able to build. And as a player, I understood and learned very quickly about when I was at Watford, I was very loyal to Watford. I had 15 years there, and some years were going to be successful years, and some were always going to be testing. It's about evaluating and having realistic ambitions, but likewise always demanding more from yourself and demanding more from your players, and trying to achieve as much as possible with what you've got.
Stevenage, well done to them. I think we can all say that. They've done a lot with not an overly big budget. I think that would be fair to say to them. In terms of where your playing squad is, how far away do you think you are away from emulating Stevenage?
I'm not here to talk about budgets. I'm going to talk about players. The players have got to realise we haven't been good enough defensively this year, and that's an aspect that I certainly want to improve on, must improve on. That's not just about defenders, that's just about everybody in the side and the makeup. So there's lots of aspects that I do believe that we can improve on, and we will. We certainly have to work considerably harder on not conceding goals. There's been goals that we've conceded too easily this year, and having that mental strength. But what I will say this, is that I believe the players have learnt a lot, and whilst I recognise that we want to get out of this league, the players have, I hope that they've taken on board the criticism, and likewise the constructive words that have been put to them, and they go away and they come back, one refreshed, but likewise ready to fight hard and do their best for this football club.
Can you just give us a sense of what the feeling is in that changing room at the minute, because we're coming to the end of the season, we're days away from the final game? Is it a little bit like the end of term at school?
In terms of learning, they'll be evaluated. Every player will be spoken to privately, and what I expect from them next season. They'll be certainly given a programme to go away with regarding their fitness levels. But they'll train throughout May as well. So we know that we've got to remain strong and conservative, but likewise show the ambition that matches myself and this football club.
It's the club's end of season dinner this week as well. Have you written a stirring speech, David, for your players and all the sponsors at this end of season dinner?
I think like any end of the season dinner, you go there. After last season, there was the optimism and certainly the belief, and that's never going to change from me, because I'm still the same person I was then. But I've learned a lot this year about certain things, and I hope that everybody who comes along enjoys the evening, and the players will certainly thank their sponsors as we all will. And we hope that everybody sticks together and can evaluate things, but likewise enjoy the evening, but then roll the sleeves up time and start getting prepared for the pre-season, which we're looking forward to.
Thank you, Dave.
Pleasure.
Although there's nothing at stake on Saturday, it's massively important to go away on a bit of a high into the.
John, I'm looking forward to Saturday. The players, I felt on Saturday, deserved some credit coming out of that game. But yeah, up to the last minute, I'll still be evaluating people's mentality. I only want people at this football club that will have that strong mentality and that desire, and that'll be again against a good Kidderminster side. But likewise, we want to put in a performance that shows that and give the players some credibility and go away on a high if they can.
I think the Kidderminster away game was perhaps, do you think, the worst performance, if you like? Well,
we went there with a left back that wasn't a left back. We got exposed in that department. There was too many gaps in the defence. Up top on that game, we were dreadful. Wide areas we didn't play. So a lot of aspects. Okay, I can go into it. I've watched it 100 times, but there are a lot of games that day we didn't play. So young Scott Gardner played there and got exposed a little bit because he's not a natural left back, and we've seen that before. So I've got no complaints about that game, but it, there were players who played with reputations that day and certainly didn't bring their boots.